This is Jason Anderson, Chairman of the Killenly Town Council. It is currently 7 p.m. on Tuesday, September 2nd, 2025, and we are calling this special Town Council meeting to order. For roll call purposes, all council members are in attendance. At this time, we'll move on to item 3, interviews of board and commission applicants. First up is Michelle York, who's seeking appointment as a regular member of the Public Safety Commission. Her term would run from May 1st, 2025 to April 30th, 2029. Is Michelle here? Okay. Seeing how she's not here, we'll move on. Next item up on the agenda, I'm going to call for items 3, B, C, and D all at once. And I apologize if I pronounce your name wrong. Petros Nicholas Kostaris is seeking appointment to several commissions. 3B would be Public Safety Committee or Commission. 3C would be Board of Building Appeals, and 3D would be Planning and Zoning Commission. Mr. Kostaris, are you here?
Hi.
Please come up to the table. Just make sure the green light is on one of the microphones. Just hit the push button on the front, and it should light up.
Okay.
There. So, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, why you're seeking to serve on one of these commissions, and how you feel you would be an asset to the community?
Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Petros. I've lived here my entire life. I've lived in 2 different houses, one on Franklin Street, one on Broad Street. So I am extremely interested in the welfare and betterment of Killingly. I think I would be a good representative to represent some kind of youth or some kind of younger generation on the boards and some kind of, I don't know, younger viewpoint on how things are going. Because I think a lot of the people that are currently serving on the boards, or in the past, whatever, they've all come from like the same families or like an establishment, and there really is no like new blood coming in, and I would like to do that.
Thank you. Now, I know you had applied for several different commissions, and do you have a preference over these 3?
One above all, the Public Safety Commission, and then second behind that, probably Planning and Zoning, and then third behind that, the Building Appeals.
Thank you. And have you attended any of the meetings of well, I know Public Safety, we haven't had a meeting in quite a while. Have you attended any of the Planning and Zoning or Board of Building Appeals meetings?
No, I haven't.
Okay. I will open up to questions from council.
What is your vision for Killingly?
Well, I mean, to be honest, we're on like a great track as is, and I want to see that momentum going, because when I grew up and around like riding my bikes down the street and stuff, none of these businesses were open. They were all shuttered. They had boards in their windows, and there's clearly something going right, and I just don't want to see something go backwards. We're getting more commerce. We're having families in the park. I've never seen that before a couple years ago. We have those like second Saturdays and like those little parades, whatever. Awesome. Fabulous. So I just want to see a continuation of that and to do my part to make sure it continues.
So in regards to your part on a board or commission, the residents of the town are at the top of the chain of command. So basically, would you follow what the people wanted and not follow your own vision?
That's exactly why I'm here, to represent people instead of being some kind of ordained. I think, okay, I'm going to betray myself a bit here. I think a lot of people have forgotten that they're civil servants and not rulers. I will be a civil servant.
Thank you.
Could you give us a specific example of that? Because that's a very broad brush statement, and that's a lot of people involved that you just said that about. I'm just curious.
A specific example of who?
Of being rulers versus civil servants.
Oh, like there was like the Hallberg family who just recently got out, and they were in town council or whatever local government forever, and I didn't hear much good come from them.
So you know the town council is elected by the town people, right?
Absolutely.
So if someone is elected to the council, how are they ruling? We don't appoint ourselves. So I just need, because when you said everybody's too old, that is a very strong statement. And I respect all of the people in town that serve on our boards and commissions because it's a volunteer situation. The town council, we get a very small stipend, and I will say some of them give it up for good purposes, and others don't, and that's everyone's right. But what you're saying here is that all of these people, by that second statement, I just don't want you to come off as you're offending people, because you sound like you have good intention. So I want to give you an opportunity to explain those comments.
Behind that, I simply mean there's a disproportionate or involvement among the older generation, and kind of it is older. Killingly is older, but there is a kind of a leaving behind of the newer generation. Like we have disinterested voters, people who work 60 hours a week to barely make rent, and I'm just saying that there is a disconnect between those two groups that needs to be kind of rectified and actively mended.
I appreciate that, because that makes a lot of sense, and I think advocating for that is a good idea. So thank you.
I'll chime in for a second. So passion is always, whether it's one side or the other, I think when two sides are passionate, you do get to if it's civil, you get to a good common ground. So representing the younger demographic is definitely something that I can appreciate. It's never easy. I think that in a town as small as this, with and you're correct, we do have an aging population. Getting people to have interest in the town and step up is definitely something to advocate for. It is. I don't know if it's like you said, people are too busy, but even voting, if you want your voices to be heard, also as a younger generation, that's something that you could spearhead to get people to actually come out to the polls. That would be, then when we talk about the people elect us, they do, but only a very small percentage of the people elect us. Now, again, remember though, that's a challenge that if you want to take that on, I think it's a good one. I think sometimes there's just a disconnect of, your civil duty to also to vote, and I think it's not taken as seriously as it should be. So, I would think that would be the way that I would aim, would be to get folks involved, and having a voice is not a bad thing. It doesn't mean none of us are always going to be right, and we're not always going to be wrong.
That's why there's 9. That's why there's so many.
That would be my focus.
I do want to add that I have heard in the past that the age of our council, our boards and commissions, has been brought up to me in the past. And to that, I do say I've talked to some people I know who are younger, and a lot of what I get back is I don't have time, I've got family, I've got this, I've got that. And to me, and I remember that conversation because that was when I actually thought about it. And I thought about, here I am, I'm 52 years old, and I'm the youngest person on town council. And if you look at the average age of the town of Killingly, I would love to see more younger people like yourself coming out to get involved. I do understand a lot of people have time commitments at home. And not that the council members and boards and commission members don't. I know having younger children at home can be a challenge for someone trying to come to a 7 o'clock meeting and sit here for 3 hours. If they've got kids at home, they gotta get ready for bed. So I definitely hear what you're saying as far as the demographic, as far as age with the boards and commissions. And we're always looking to fill boards and commission seats. We almost always have a vacancy somewhere. It's not like we're turning people away because you're younger and we only want older people here. So it's not a matter of that, and I do understand it. Like I said, people are busy, and it's a commitment, especially council, planning and zoning. The time commitment to those commissions is a great deal.
And if I may, that's why I'm kind of doing it. Like, I don't have a wife. I don't have a kid. I have the time to spare to help people and, like, have conversations. And especially represent, or I don't want to say represent too many times, but, like, put forth some kind of difference or alternative or change of pace. And that's as simple as that.
Thank you.
So what are some specific things in regards to public safety would you change? Or actually, the commission hasn't met in probably 5 years.
Well,
So what are your thoughts?
that's the first
And-
problem.
right,
If
yeah,
they
well,
haven't met in 5
Well,
years.
there's underlining previous issues that there's a reason for that. But anyway, what are your thoughts and what are your desires
Well-
and aspirations for public?
Okay, so, just off the cuff, I've noticed the town of Killingly, like, police force has been recently introduced, like, again, for the first time, and, however, they didn't exist when I was a kid. But within, like, what was it, 4 years ago or something, they got reinstated?
I believe it was 7 was when we started it up,
Oh, well then, okay.
but it's been a gradual build-up.
And so I live on Broad Street, right in downtown, right on Main Street, where everybody walks, everybody goes, everybody, it's fine. There is no, like, real violent crime to be spoken of. All the crime in Daniels, it's all domestic crime. It's a whole different box of worms. But I don't see, like, beat cops riding around or walking around or something like that. And if we have a problem, which I don't strictly believe, but it is a problem that can be addressed, with, like, people getting high on the street and, like, being strung out and stuff like that, there is no enforcement, there is no beat cop, there is no Officer Brady walking down the street that everybody knows their name, and that is the way to solve that problem. And I just simply don't see it happening.
I like that, a little connection with the community, with the police force.
One,
We
one,
do have, don't they have bikes there?
yes, yep.
So they do have that.
Yep. The one thing I will say is the police force is still, in a sense, in its infancy. Right now, we're at 9 officers, one of them's in the academy. So you talk about realistically, we have 8 officers. To cover round the clock, 7 days a week shifts, we would have to be up over 20 officers. And when the constabulary was first put forward as a concept and then coming into reality, the plan was to hire 2 constables a year for 5 years till we got to 10. There's been delays. When COVID happened, we pushed that off due to financial constraints. Also trying to find staffing. When you're starting up a police force can be difficult as well. We've been looking for, a lot of times, transfers, someone who's already been through the academy, because to put through somebody through the academy, once you're paying for them to go through the academy, once they come out of the academy, you got to dedicate an officer, an FTO, field training officer, to ride around with them, basically to get them up to speed, get them ready for the job. So then you're taking another officer away, in a sense. You're paying for 2 officers and only getting 1. So it's a big commitment bringing on new officers. The cadet that's going to the academy, this is going to be our first cadet in the academy. But the one thing that I wanted to do is, I brought up the fact of, all right, well, we're at 9, we're almost at 10, which was the original thing. Where are we going to go from here? And that's something, especially not having enough members on a public safety committee right now to be able to have meetings, that's something I would almost want to involve the public safety committee in, is what direction are we going with our police force? Are we just going to stay with the amount of constables we have? Are we going to increase it? Is there an appetite from the public to go to a independent police force, which would bring on a lot more costs? Then we would have more control over where the constables go, because right now, they're dispatched by the state police. because we have a resident state trooper.
If I'm asked, so I heard literally this morning. Literally this morning, I heard that, I didn't know this before today, the town cops that we have, like, receive directives and, like, their whole operation, basically, from the state police. So it's kind of effectively the same thing.
It's, what ends up happening is, the advantage to starting with the constabulary, we don't have to have our own holding cells, we don't have to have evidence lockup. There's a lot of the costs that are deferred because we're using the resident state trooper program. What we did do, we initially had 4 resident state troopers, came down to 1. It was a huge savings. We could basically get 2 constables or more for the cost of 1 resident state trooper. So as we brought on more constables, we started reducing the amount of state troopers we had down to our current level, which is 1. Yep. So now it's, and that's, I think it's great seeing people looking to come forward and serve on a public safety commission, because I think we're at that transition point of where do we go from here? We've built up to what the initial plan was. What do we do going forward?
I'd like to second what Jason said. I know for myself it's a challenge when I go out as an at-large counselor, because depending on where you live, some people really want more offices and some people really don't. And when we come time for budget, that's always a big thing. Like, I would love more public safety people to go out and find out what does the whole town want and come to some consensus, because there really is no consensus at this point, so.
Ed, is your mic on?
Good. Yeah, public safety only has 1 member. Like Andy was saying before, whatever reason, people resigned, didn't do so. We need more people on that public safety commission. So if you got on that, you'd be the second one, but we still don't have a quorum. So we need more people to come forward, and that's our issue. Like Jason was saying, we always have openings on various boards and commissions. And again, if you're on that, we still would need another person to even have a quorum. So.
You've got Michelle York here, though.
We did have one other person who was scheduled to interview. I haven't heard why she wasn't able to make it tonight. Hopefully she can come back either next month or.
But that's, yeah, again, that's where we are. We're trying to get people on, and this commission can't meet unless it has enough members for a quorum. So, yes, I'm glad you're interested in that one, because that's helping us along, and maybe we can get to that point. And so it's an active commission.
You need to recruit some of them young blood.
Apparently so. When he said that, I instantly, my wheels started turning in my head.
But in any case, we're trying to always solicit people for, almost every board and commission has an opening, especially as an alternates, not maybe as, in this commission on the public safety, we're looking for regular members. We have a long way to go to fill that.
To the point of we need more people, I only really got, I was always interested in local government, whatever. I've lived here forever. I've always been interested in it. But I came in to pay my car tax 2 months ago, and I saw the board downstairs with all of the vacancies, and I'm like, dude, this is not good. So from that moment, I became interested and became a little more active. So, I mean.
No, that's good. You saw something and you responded to it. Yes.
Well, I'm saying, and I think to that, just, whatever's talking, a little bit of more we need people. We need volunteers. We get active. Because I think there's a lot of not laziness, not disenfranchisement, just nihilism, I guess, where people are like, oh, I can't do anything. Oh. And I was like, no, yes, you can. Go out, go to a meeting or 2.
And a lot of these boards and commissions only meet once, twice, maybe 3 times a month at the most. Any other questions, comments?
I just want to say it's very refreshing to see a young man come in here as motivated as you are. And yeah, I think you have the motivation, you're ambitious, you did your research, I saw you watched the meetings and things. And, yeah, I think we get more people of your age motivated to come forward. I mean, I think that would be a task we would give to you. Get
And-
out there and get some more people to engage like you want to.
And
I think it's nice to see.
And I think really the whole point is Killingly is way better now than when it was when I was growing up. There's more people on the streets. I see families, rolling their baby stroller down the I see kids riding their bikes. That always happened, but never saw families with baby strollers before. And like they're going to coffee shops and like sitting and having a latte and then go moseying about because they have like a free Tuesday or whatever. That is inconceivable to 15-year-old me, but it's here now, and I want to do what I can to propagate it.
So what I will say is when I was a kid, because I grew up here too, and so did Tony and so did Tammy, Main Street was bustling. We had Dow's, we had Surplus, we had the fruit store, we had so many things. And it's nice to see it coming back. So I'm glad you recognize that.
The 90s.
We can bring it back.
In fact, it went downhill.
Any other questions, comments from council? Do you have any other questions for us?
All answered in context, really. Great.
All right, on behalf of the council, I want to say thank you for coming forward. It's always encouraging to see people looking to give back to the community and volunteer, especially, like you said, the younger generation.
So I heard if you get on one commission, you're not allowed to be on the others.
Unfortunately, we actually tried changing that at the last charter revision, and it was actually on the ballot, but it failed.
Okay, well
So
then
it
it
was
is what it is.
something- And we did that because we pushed for charter revision. We threw this, hey, can you look into the possibility of doing this? The Charter Revision Commission came back and had it on as one of their questions. And part of that was part of why I was on the council at the time when we were pushing that forward, and encouraging it. Part of it was we were having issues filling boards and commissions. I remember there was a time Inland Wetlands Watercourse Commission was having trouble having meetings because you'd have one person sick and they don't have a quorum. So we were trying to get that through, but it's the town charter that states that you can only be on one. We were trying to change that to make it a little bit easier to fill the seats, and yep. So, all right. Seeing no further questions, thank you again for coming forward. Next Tuesday, we will be voting on your appointment.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up on the agenda is 3E. Jaylee Stokes is looking to switch from an alternate member to regular member on the Vision Committee. Her term would run from September 1st, 2025 to December 31st, 2026. Ms. Stokes has attended 5 out of 5 meetings since being appointed to the committee in June. The Vision Committee has 1 regular member vacancy and 1 alternate member vacancy. Due to her interviewing within the past year, the rules are if you interview within a year for a commission, if you're coming back to seek appointment being changed from an alternate to a regular, you don't have to come for a second interview. You can if you choose to, but it's not something that's required. So anyone want to make any comments on this, questions?
My only question, Jason, would be, so you've got 2 going for the 1 seat, right?
Yep.
Can you just refresh our memory when were they appointed? We go back and look at the video.
Jaylee was appointed in June and Blair was appointed in July.
So we should be able to look at those meetings and we can see for Tuesday, right?
Yes, yep. Jaylee's attended, and I'll go on to Blair's next. I'll give the
Okay.
rundown on Blair after that. Any other questions regarding item 3E? Seeing none, we'll move on. 3F is Blair Davis Jr. is seeking a switch from alternate member to regular member on the Vision Committee. The terms will be the same as I had just discussed. Mr. Davis has attended 3 out of 3 meetings since being appointed to the committee in July. And again, the committee has one regular member vacancy and one alternate member vacancy. And again, he didn't have to be here this evening to interview. We can just appoint one of these two candidates from an alternate to a regular next week. Any questions, comments on this item? Seeing none, we'll move on in the agenda. Next item up is four citizen statements and petitions. If anyone would like to make public comment, now is the time to step up to the microphone, state your name and address. We just ask that any comment be related to items on this evening's agenda since it's a special meeting. Last call for public comment. Brian, do we have anything submitted by email?
We do not.
Thank you. Moving on in the agenda, item 5, old business, and we have nothing, so we'll move on to item 6, which is new business, meeting with Conservation Commission and staff liaison Allison Brady. Welcome. So what do you have for an update for us as far as what's going on with the Conservation Commission lately, and what do you have coming up soon?
Okay, thankfully Allison typed up some things that are by chicken scrawl, so this is better. Okay, so for the Kinley Conservation Commission, under Trails and Property Improvements, the Kinley Conservation Commission has been working on updating some of our kiosks with new and improved mapping, pieces of cork and bulletin board style notices, kiosks that have been improved within the past year at Quandock Conservation Area, Mason Hill, and 1892. Next up would be Chase Reservoir. The Kinley Conservation Commission member Bob Lefquist has been updating trail markings on existing trails. Old paint markings seem to be fading fast, so we've begun going through and adding plastic tree markers, which is similar to how the state marks their trails, like at Old Furnace, and will be hopefully requires less future upkeep. The KCC member Claudette Rogers has been adding geocaching to our properties. Some already existed at Quandock, but she's added a couple more to Quandock. Has added some to Mason Hill and plans to add to more properties in the future. We're learning as we go in terms of how to upload caches to the official geocaching website and are trying to think of ways to advertise geocaching in the public. And in case you're not sure what geocaching is, it's a recreational activity of hunting and finding a hidden object by means of GPS coordinates posted on a website. The Kinley Conservation Commission members are concerned about our property advertising that hunting is allowed at Quandock. So we coordinated with the DPW and added a high visibility sign stating that hunting is allowed with permission from the town manager and to please wear blaze orange during the hunting season. We also took the hunting schedules from the state website and posted them on the corkboard. And then this week we have a meeting, hopefully with Bill Reed and the ECLFLA, because we're going to be fixing a walkway at the 1892 Sherman Memorial to make it easier for people to be able to walk through. Next would be our brochures and logo. The Kinley Conservation Commission member Bob Lefquist has begun redoing all of their brochures to make sure information is up to date and formatting is consistent from the brochure to brochure. Still a work in progress, but hopefully some of them will be out in brochure holders soon. The open space booklet was updated this year with a large batch purchased. A goal of Kinley Conservation Commission this year was to get creative with distribution to help educate on the public spaces that are available for people to use. That's the booklet Allison gave you. The KCC members are designed and adopted a new logo. They didn't think the former recycling symbol aligned with their mission, so it's redesigned to an outline of Kinley with some trees. That's in here, right?
I think it's on the back page. Oh, no, that's okay. Next version
Oh.
of the new logo.
On events, the Walktober in October of 2024 was held at Quandock and had a great turnout. No official bus tours were scheduled in 2024, but we loaned Donna Brownwell out in the fall of 2024 to Westview Commons for a private bus tour on one of the Westview buses. Great feedback on both sides. In 2024, the Environmental Award was awarded to Wendy Fusco for her work towards the beautification of Cat Hollow Park. The award was presented on March 11th of 2025, Town Council meeting. We're thankful to have some overlapping members between Conservation and the Cat Hollow Volunteer Group, so we get to hear updates about their volunteer work at Cat Hollow at each meeting. In 2025, the KCC held 5 spring outdoor events. One was at Chase, one was at Cat Hollow, one was at Mason Hill, one was at Quandock, and then Sherman Memorial. And most of them had really great turnouts for people. It was a really great time for everybody to see what Killingly is offering. This year's Walktober will be Sunday, October 12th at 1 p.m. at Cat Hollow. Please attend. The next upcoming bus tour will be the Southern Route on October 19th at 1 p.m. It will be advertised in a shopper's guide, so please feel free to register at once you see it being advertised. Don't take my seat. And that is it.
Thank you very much. I will open up for questions, comments, Mr. Grandelsky.
Well, as you can see, the Conservation Commission is very busy, very active, even interacting with the rec department, because Cat Hollow is under the auspices of the rec department. Was a lot of stuff going on over there. And Cat Hollow seems to be the overflow. After people go to Owen Bell, when it's too crowded over there, Cat Hollow seems to be the place where everybody migrates to. So we need to do something with more parking over there. That's another issue we've got to, I don't know, we got to get funding for that, but that would be nice to have more parking, and that would make that go a long way. But they're very busy on all the properties and trying to keep them open, and they're busy. It's a very positive commission.
Yeah, I'd like to second that. I try to make most of these, I travel a lot, so I miss some, I apologize, but the people are wonderful. I mean, they're just the most big-hearted people, just the salt of Killingly, to be honest.
I was gonna say, you guys do a great job. I really enjoyed being the liaison for a while. I learned a lot about Killingly, and a lifelong resident, didn't know about a lot of these things, the different spots and stuff. This is beautiful. You guys did a great job, and I love how you're always out there engaging, and the way you guys come up with fresh ideas to get more people involved is pretty cool, so great job.
That's a pretty snazzy shirt you got.
Yes, did you guys get your Cat Hollow shirt at Anderson Pro
I
Surplus?
should have worn mine.
I do want to say thank you for everything you do. And I was actually excited to hear about your promoting the geocaching, having done it myself years ago, and it's been probably about 5-6 years since I've done it. And I love doing it, but then life got busy and you get away from it. But yet hearing that you're promoting that now and working to build it up, I think is awesome.
That's gonna be our target for like the winter time. Now that we're kind of down on other things, we're gonna be focusing on that. So hopefully in 2026, we'll be on the ground running with it. Because we wanna, hopefully that'll promote Town of Killingly, just one more thing that people can be like, wow, Killingly's got that, it's great, you know?
Yeah, I was surprised how many different places there are in the area where you can go and do that, and never knew about it until somebody had talked to me about it. Oh, you gotta try this.
Yep.
And I had a blast. It was a blast. It's like a treasure hunt. You're out there hunting for stuff, especially when you've got younger kids. You can bring them with you, get them involved.
Yep.
So.
And there's also a forest management operation going on at Chase Reservoir, so they're doing some logging, taking out some dead trees. So that seems to be the third place where people are going, but it's kind of hard with the logging thing going on to promote it heavily right now. But once that is done and cleaned up, and then we can move on to other areas, and eventually we'll have a forest management plan for all the different areas. But this is the first one right now, and it took, well, ever since I've been on a council, it took how many years to get it going, and it's finally going. So it's good. There's a lot of things happening through the Conservation Commission.
Any other comments, questions?
I had a couple. So this is really beautiful. You guys putting them at rest areas or hotels or anything? I know like when I travel, I see things like this. This is top of the line. Like if I was at a hotel, I'd be like, oh, I want to go here.
Did we put them down in the hotel by Blue Lake?
We did not, but we did put them they're at the library. We did recently have some out in the lobby down here at Town Hall, but they've all been taken, so we have to replenish them. And then we did put them in a couple small businesses up here on Main Street, and those have since been taken as well, so we'll have to replenish at the coffee shops and things like that. But they seem popular, which is great.
Yeah, I mean, because if I saw this there, I would come to Killing Lake. It's really classy. I had some questions too. I had heard from one of your members that you were having some trouble with stolen plants. Is that all resolved? Like, can we help with that at all?
That was, I believe, the Cat Hollow volunteer group that was talking about that, so I don't know how much Conservation Commission necessarily knows about that. But yeah, I think Parks and Rec might be able to help you better address that.
I do have a question. I don't know if you know the answer to it. How are you doing budget-wise? I know when you're printing something like this out, it's not cheap. Do you know how you're doing as far as your budget?
We're doing pretty well budget-wise. We keep track each meeting. We do a budget update first thing, just because these are quite expensive, and we want to make sure we have money available at the end of each year to purchase new copies. So we pretty much spend the entirety of the Conservation Commission budget each year, but we haven't been struggling necessarily. We've been doing pretty well.
Thank you.
So I have a question. It just popped into my head looking at these. So the ERTD, Eastern Regional Tourism, we have a booth at the Big E. And right now we're trying to get brochures and things together for local businesses. Well, this would fall into tourism, bringing people here. Do you guys want to give me a batch of these and I can get them out there? Or how many do you have available?
We've got a lot available. There's a stockpile in my office, so I
Okay.
can find a time to get you some.
Okay, I'll stop. Are you gonna be in there tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay, I'll come get some.
Okay, perfect.
All right, thanks.
Thank you. Any other comments, questions from council? Do you have anything further for us?
Is this available
sorry.
on our website, like in the PDF form?
We don't have the whole PDF available. I can add that, but on the Conservation Commission website, we do have each individual property has its own
Yeah.
page currently, but that wouldn't be a bad idea to add the whole PDF too. We can do that for sure.
Thank you. Sorry, Andy, I didn't realize you wanted to say something.
That's okay.
Any further questions from council? Seeing none, just want to say thank you for coming forward and thank you for everything you do and all the time you volunteer.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on the agenda, next item up is executive session, and we have nothing for executive session, so I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
No, wait.
Miss an agenda item?
I think you missed two.
Yeah, 6B.
Oh. Oh, yes. 6B and C, yes.
Oh, okay, yep, I did, I apologize.
Is that
Boy,
a,
you're
is,
really excited to get out.
is that a sign of old age?
Yeah,
Well, it was on the back.
and I'm the youngest one here.
It's on the back. Rub it in this
Oh,
page for
I apologize for that, we missed a couple of agenda items. Next item up is 6B, consideration and action on a resolution authorizing town manager to execute grant documents with the State of Connecticut Department of Energy and Environmental Protection for the Urban Green and Community Grant Program. Can I get a motion to adopt this resolution?
So moved.
Motion was made by Ms. George, seconded by Ms. Wakefield. Mr. Palaya, can you go over this?
So we're asking you to authorize a grant for a little more than $10,000. The volunteer group that was doing some beautification work at the Cat Hollow Park came across an infestation of bamboo that they would like to have removed. Our staff was able to identify this grant as a possible source to pay for that. We did some work and got some pricing. We believe it'll be a little under $10,000 to get the work done. They do require a 50% match, but we can count the volunteer hours as the requirement for the match. So the decision-making process is to apply, probably get a decision in the spring or early summer, and then we can proceed with the work. And we would, at that time, we would seek bids again, so there is some inflation built into the budget for the lapse in time.
Thank you. Any questions, comments from council?
Could you say again, Brian, was that the Cat Hollow group or the conservation group?
I believe the Conservation Commission is involved in the project, but it was a volunteer group that was specifically doing the work.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. We'll now move on the agenda to the other item I skipped over, which is item 6C, appointment of town council member to the Board of Education Negotiation Committee. My understanding is they have 4 meetings scheduled. They are September 9th, September 18th, October 6th, and October 23rd. Is there anyone that's interested in being appointed?
I would, but I'm gonna be out of state, so, for 2 of them.
Yeah, I've got one of them, I'm gonna be out of state, and that's the tough thing is, I was in on the last, negotiations with the administrators, and what they looked for was somebody who could, I was actually the alternate, Hula was gonna be, but she had, something came up, and they wanted someone who can attend all 4.
And
So
they,
I-
and they changed some of the dates at the last
Yeah,
minute too.
that was the other thing that happened, was the last round, they changed the dates, and I jumped in last minute.
I'd have to check my schedule.
It's a conflict, yeah.
Actually, yeah, that makes it difficult for you, yep. Yep, so,
I will say, I did the teacher negotiations the last cycle, and it's very informative, and it helps you understand the budget asks and everything from their viewpoint, and you learn a lot about how they put their things together on the school end. So it's eye-opening, and it's important, so. If nobody else can do it, I would step up, because I've done it before, I know the process. But I would not be able to attend the October 6th. I won't be here, and I gotta check on the 18th. So it would be, if nobody else can do it, I can move things around, but I won't be here on the 6th.
and I know, looking at next week's is the night we have a town council meeting.
They're all in the daytime, right?
Well, 5 o'clock, but
Oh.
I've been in, one of the ones I was in ran about 2.5 hours. So that could come down to having to, if one of us is on it, may have to leave that early. So,
I mean, I didn't realize they were at 5. What are the dates again?
the 9th, the 18th, then of this month, and then the 6th and the 23rd of next month.
6. Yeah, I mean, I can make a 5 if nobody can do all of them. I didn't realize it was a 5 o'clock.
And I believe we didn't have to officially vote on it last time around. It was just a matter of, letting them know who it was gonna be. So.
Okay, and do we have an alternate if I had an emergency at the plant?
I can, check my schedule, I'll be the alternate.
Okay. All right, so moving on the agenda, item 7, executive session, and as I said before, we had nothing, so I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion was made by Mr. Grandelski,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Catula. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions?